How old are you? How old are you? This is a question that we either ask or answer every day. People are obsessed with their ages, including me. We think about our ages, we worry about our ages, we talk about our ages. We are obsessed with our ages. Now, some people say that age is only a number, but it's not. It's a topic full of words, idioms, expressions, and today in this video we are going to learn 9 idioms with age. Let's get started. Number 1, act your age. Now, when we say act your age, we mean to act maturely and not like a child. Act your age, be mature, don't be childish. Stop being childish and act your age. It means don't do stupid things which are not suitable for your age. Do things which are suitable for your age. So if you are 40 years old, if you are say 35 years old, and then you lick a lollipop while jumping, well, you're not acting your age. You have to act your age. Number 2, come of age. Come of age. This is an expression that we use when we want to talk about children or teenagers and say that they reach adulthood. They become an adult. Come of age would mean to become an adult. So imagine a 14-year-old child or teenager, not a child, but a 14 years old would be a teenager, reaching the age of 20. They have come of age. It means they've become an adult. In most countries, you cannot vote unless you come of age. You cannot vote unless you come of age, which means unless you're an adult, you cannot vote. Teenagers and children aren't allowed to vote. Or the same thing for a driver's license. So unless you come of age, you cannot apply or you cannot get a driver's license. Come of age. Guys, would you just look at that? Look at those two cute dogs. I love dogs. I think dogs are the cutest animals in the world. They're the best pets you can own. They can be your friend. They are really loyal. They care about you. They're very, very friendly. And I think they can really change your life. They can really cheer you up. But fun fact about dogs, did you know that a dog's perception and understanding of time is different than a person's understanding of time? Well, it's a known fact, I'm sure you knew, but to what extent is it different? Well, I didn't know, but before recording this video, I did a little bit of research on the internet and I found out that 1 hour of humans' time equals to 15 hours in dogs' time. So it means that if you're watching a movie for 1 hour, not listening to your dog, not playing with your dog is waiting 15 hours for your video to get over, right? You're watching 1 hour of a movie, but your dog's waiting for 15 hours. Well, that's a bit confusing, I know. Now imagine what a dog's year would be. How long is a dog's year? And that is the next idiom of today, in a dog's age. Now, what does it mean? In a dog's age refers to a very long time. It's been a dog's age since I last saw a movie. It's been a dog's age since I last saw a movie. It means it's been a very, very long time since the last time I watched a movie. A dog's age. Or maybe you run into a friend of yours whom you haven't met for a very long time, and then you say, "Hey, Jack, oh, it's been a dog's age since we last met each other," right? It's been a dog's age since we last met. A dog's age, a very long time. And the next phrase. I wasn't born yesterday. I wasn't born yesterday. What does it mean? When you say you weren't born yesterday, you mean that you aren't stupid enough to believe whatever you are being told. So if a person tells you something which is not true and you want to tell them that you know they are trying to deceive you, you would say,
"Look, I wasn't born yesterday."
It means that you aren't so young and without experience, you aren't naive, and that you understand that the other person is trying to make a fool out of you. You weren't born yesterday, I wasn't born yesterday. We are experienced enough not to easily believe whatever we're being told. Oh, so you will pay me after I finish the project, right? Huh. Lesson. I wasn't born yesterday. One of my clients asked me to do a project for them, and they promised to pay me when I finish the project. Will they pay me when I finish the project? I don't think so. I won't accept this project because I wasn't born yesterday. I know that they are trying to make a fool out of me. I know that they are trying to deceive me. Number 5, to get on in years, or to get along in years. Can you guess what it means? Get along in years or get on in years? It's a more beautiful way. It's a different way of saying to get older. So you can say, I'm getting older. You can also say, I'm getting on in years, or I'm getting along in years. It's a nicer way of saying it, right? Many people feel sad because they are getting on in years. They don't want to get older. Well, I am one of those people. On my birthdays, I'm really sad. When I blow the candles, I'm not happy inside. I might have a smile, but I'm not happy inside. Because a birthday means that you have got a year older. You're closer to the end. What is the end? I don't know, whatever that is. Let's not get into the philosophy. But on my birthdays, I'm sad because I know that I'm getting along in years and that I'm getting closer to the end, to the unknown end. That's why I'm sad. I think many people are sad. What about you? Do you feel happy when it's your birthday? Well, maybe at that time you are happy because you have all your loved ones around you, your friends, your family. But what about the day after? Do you feel happy or do you feel sad because you have gotten a year older? Let me know in the comments down below. And let's not send negative vibes. Let's keep our energy. We've learned 5 idioms so far, and now it's time for a break. A great way to start a day. That was an amazing cup of cappuccino, and I think really the best way to start a day is by drinking a warm cup of cappuccino. I really like it, and I think the best place to have cappuccino is here in Italy. So if you haven't been here, if you're not here, if you're watching this video from another country, I highly recommend coming to Italy just for having the cappuccino. And now, for today's break time, I've decided to read for you and with you 3 quotes by famous people who have talked about age. Okay, let's start reading together. Now, number 1 is a quote by Samuel Ullman. Let's read it. Nobody grows old merely by living a number of years. We grow old by deserting our ideals. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. Let's take another look. Nobody grows old merely by living a number of years. Merely is an adverb, which means only, just. So you don't grow old, as Ullman says, you don't grow old only by living a number of years. So if you live like 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, you don't grow 10 years older. So how do you grow old? We grow old by deserting our ideals. Now, deserting is a verb which means to leave, to put aside, to not pursue anymore. An ideal is something that you want to achieve in your life. So the moment you stop going towards your goals and aims, that's the moment you grow old. If you don't stop, according to Ullman, you don't grow old. That's an interesting perspective, right? Let's read the rest. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkles the soul. What is a wrinkle? A wrinkle is a line that appears on your face as you grow old, as you get along in years, remember? Now, years may wrinkle the skin, of course. If you're 50, 60, 70, 80, you have some wrinkles on your skin. But the soul is different. What wrinkles the soul, according to Ullman? To give up enthusiasm. What is enthusiasm? Enthusiasm is excitement that you have in your life. So the moment you lose your excitement, the moment you lose your enthusiasm, you wrinkle your soul. And that's when you grow old. That was an interesting perspective, and I can say I really agree with this. I really think that you are not old even if you are 80, but you have a very, very playful inner child. I think that's when your body's old, but your soul is not old. That's an interesting perspective. Let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. Let's go to the second quote of the day by Thomas Aldrich. All right, it's like that. To keep the heart unwrinkled, to keep the heart unwrinkled, to be hopeful, kindly, and cheerful, that is to triumph over old age. Let's read it again. To keep the heart unwrinkled, to be hopeful, kindly, cheerful, that is to triumph over old age. What does it mean? What is to triumph? Now, triumph is synonymous with win, victory. So to triumph over something means to win something, right? It means to be the winner of a competition, to be the winner of a war, of a fight, to triumph. Now, Thomas says, to keep the heart unwrinkled, remember wrinkles, the lines on your face? To keep the heart unwrinkled, to be hopeful, and to be kindly, and to be cheerful, that is to triumph over old age. It means that even if you are old, you're 80 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old maybe, but you are hopeful, kindly, and cheerful, your heart is unwrinkled. Which means, again, the same thing as Samuel Ullman said, you are not old even though your body is old. Your heart's not old. Your body is old, but your mind is not old. These are all very, very interesting and thought-provoking, let's say, quotes and ideas about age. We normally think that if we are 30, if we get 31, we are a step closer. Is that what I only think? Do you think the same thing? Are we on the same boat here? I think if I grow a year older, I'm getting closer to the end. But according to them, you will get closer to the end if you stop pursuing what you like. If you stop being hopeful, if you stop being cheerful, if you stop being kind. That is when your soul is wrinkled. That is when your heart is wrinkled. Okay, let's not get into the philosophy. The third quote of today, of this quite long break time, right? Let's read it, by Henry Ford. Anyone who stops learning is old. This is my favorite. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Let's read it again. Anyone who stops learning is old. To what extent do you agree? Again, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But I cannot say how much I agree with this sentence. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start aging. Wow, a quote by me. I really believe this. I really believe this. I think that you keep your mind young by forcing it to learn. This learning process is what makes your mind young and, let's say, refreshed. If you want to have a clear head, you have to keep learning. And I'm not necessarily saying that you have to go to a university or a school or, I don't know, an institute. Just learn little things on a daily basis. That will really keep your mind young. And Henry Ford said it in the greatest way possible. Whether at 20 or 80, the moment you stop learning is the moment you age, is the moment you get old. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. And the greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. I really believe in this. If you are watching this video, I'm proud of you. I really am, because, you know, you are trying to learn English. Now, in any way possible, it doesn't matter if you're reading a book, if you're watching my videos, if you're watching someone else's videos, if you're going to a class, keep learning. That'll keep you away from aging. Another quote by me. All right, back to class, guys. Let's learn the next idiom of today. In this day and age. In this day and age. Which means nowadays. It's another way of saying today, or these days, or nowadays. In this day and age. Many students ask me, how can we start a paragraph talking about these days without saying these days? Well, this is a great alternative. Say, in this day and age. For example, in this day and age, horrible crimes are increasing. In this day and age, horrible crimes are increasing. It means that horrible crimes these days are on the rise. There are more and more and more happening every day these days, in this day and age. Look at those birds. Those are birds. Well, interesting. Just the moment I wanted. Where do birds live? Where do they live? They live in a house. What is the name of the house of a bird? It's called a nest, right? They live in a nest. Now, when birds are born, they are not able to fly. They don't have the skills. They don't have the wings, so they cannot fly. What do? They stay in the nest, and the parents, the mama bird and papa bird, they bring food for the little bird, right? But when the little bird comes of age, they get this skill, they learn how to fly. The moment they learn how to fly is the moment they leave the nest. And that is the next idiom of today. What does it mean to leave the nest? Well, it means to go off the nest, but we can also use it for humans. To leave the nest, well, we use this expression to talk about people, in general young people, who grow old and want to become independent. They want to live on their own. So what do? They leave the nest. They go away, they go out of their parents' home and they start their own life. They rent an apartment, they live for themselves, they start becoming independent and they leave the nest. For example, in my case, I left the nest at the age of 24. I left the nest at the age of 24. It means when I reached 24, I started my own life. I rented an apartment and I tried to become independent. I left the nest. Now, the quotes we read talked about two things, the soul and the body, and also the mind. Three things actually. You might be old in the sense that your body is old, but not your soul. You have a young soul, which is our next idiom of the day, to be young at heart. To be young at heart means that although you are old physically, you still have a very youthful spirit. You have a very young soul. You are cheerful. You have an active inner child. So maybe you are old, but you have a very, very young spirit. In this case, you can use this idiom to be young at heart. For example, although he's 80, he is still young at heart. Although he's 80, he's still young at heart. Which means, well, physically, he has lived 80 years, right? But he still has a very, very youthful spirit, which means he is young at heart. And here we are for the last idiom of the day. Tender age. Tender age. Now, what is a tender age? When we say tender age, we refer to young ages, to when you are young, to when you are 5, 6, 7, 10. You know, those are called tender ages. For example, it's easier to learn new skills at a tender age. It's easier to learn a new skill at a tender age. It means when you are young, it's easier for you to acquire new skills. Imagine you want to learn how to play the guitar. Is it easier for you to do so at the age of, say, 7, 8, 9, 10? Or is it easier for you to do so at the age of 30, 35, 40? I think the answer is obvious. It's easier for kids, for young people, or let's say in general, it's easier to acquire new skills at a tender age. Pay attention to the preposition, guys. We say at a tender age, not in a tender age or on a tender age, at a tender age. Okay guys, that is the end of today's video, and now I want to ask you two questions. Question 1, have you given this video a thumbs up? And question 2, have you hit the subscribe button? If not, do it now. I'm waiting for it. Have you done it? Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something. And please, don't forget to practice the idioms that you'll learn. Don't forget to make sentences with these idioms. Don't forget to try to use them in your day-to-day life. Try to make sentences with them. Try to talk to your speaking partner, your friends, and try to use them. By using them, you will learn them. And don't forget today's main message. The moment you stop learning is the moment you grow old. See you in the next lessons.